Boop-a-doop-a-doop, 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 motion done. There it is. Right, I'll share that. Discord. Let's have a look, see. If I go into Drive Suite, share again. There we go. Ah, poor amazing hour. There we go. Should have sent the link into the driver suite in the Discord, so if anyone wants to watch, they are quite welcome to. But it's time for what I believe is round 10 of the Thursday night Oceania series here on Transnation F1. We are here at undoubtedly one of the most legendary racetracks in all of Formula 1. Actually, no, not just Formula 1, in all of motorsport. We're going to Autodromo José Carlos Pache for the Brazilian Grand Prix. 4.3 kilometers makes up this circuit along with 15 corners. It's undoubtedly one of the most unorthodox looking racetracks in the world of Formula 1 as well. There is no circuit that I could possibly think of that is in any way similar to this circuit. Of course, also got some very legendary corners in the form of the Center S, Curva de Sol, with the straight Reta Aposta, Descida de Largo, Ferradura. You've got Pico de Pato, which is the hairpin at turn 10. You've got Junso, which is the most important corner in the entire third sector of this circuit. It pretty much dictates the entire third sector. It's a really challenging and demanding circuit for sure. A lot of places can catch you out, particularly in qualifying and in the race, of course. You've got turn 2, the last part of the Center S. It is stupidly easy to corner cut and get a warning. You've got to be careful of turn 5. The inside curb there is an auto spin curb. You have to be quite aware of that. Also, this track's demanding nature, as well as the fact that it tends to rain here as well. Drivers have to be somewhat cautious towards that. But the drivers are now beginning qualifying here at Brazil. 18 minutes of qualifying. Get telemetry up, lap data, track map up. And just before I talk about qualifying, I'm about to talk about this championship that I'm commentating for. So, this Oceania Thursday Championship is currently being led by Joshua Banks in the Williams on 145 points. He is leading only by 4 points to Andrew Lee, or also known as LR Amazing Hour. I forgot he changed that from F1 to LR Amazing Hour. He is 4 points behind in second place, and Aaron in the Racing Point is in third of 125. So very much a three-horse race. In fourth place is James Hudson in the Ferrari. He is on 85 points, 40 points behind P3. So the fight for the championship is very much between the top three. In the constructors' standings, it is currently being led by Renault Sport Formula 1 on 177 points, then Williams Racing in P2 on 149, then Ferrari on 141, and Racing Point on 126. So it's still a very hot contest between those teams in the Constructors' Championship. With this and Abu Dhabi to go, still very much undecided, though it is very much in Renault's favour. Now, who will be the first driver to do a flying lap? Will it be Mr. Banks? It just might be. We'll use Mr. Banks for our first flying lap of this circuit, coming through the Center S, turns 1 and 2, and then into turn 3, Curva de Sol, completely flat out in these cars. DRS open. In mode 4, not using mode 5, into Descida de Largo, turns 4 and 5, very fast flying section. Oh, and he got invalidated. That's something I didn't mention, is there's kind of a stupid track extending warning there. If you even have a millimetre of tyre over the white line, a millimetre of your inside tyre over the white line, yeah, it's an instant invalidation. There's no sort of no warning, kind of. You're not really is on board. It wasn't massive. It was only a little bit, but it was still enough for him to get an invalidation. As Dittmar set the first time at 10.8, but it's beaten by Harry Lillis, a 1 minute 8.9 on the soft tyre. Amazing how that's quite a pedestrian lap, I have to say. Maybe race fuel, perhaps? As Sebastian jumps to the top of the table, a 1 minute 8.6. Yeah, somewhat pedestrian lap from Andrew, I have to say. A lot quicker than that. Sector 1 yellow flag, just a slow car, that's alright. Stuart McKenzie, currently on the lap, he's coming through Ferradura into S, it's literally called S-E-double-S-E. Then into the corner, I can't really pronounce well, Pinarino. In English it's Little Fern Tree, as he loses it completely by himself, but he catches it well. So his lap is completely done, but I've never seen that before. Back end just completely stepped out, and there was no car behind him either. Very strange. I think J-Banks is now going to come across the line to jump to the top of the table on 2 lap old soft tyres. A 1 minute 8.339 puts him exactly 3/10 clear of the McLaren of Sebastian. Let's have a look, see. Anyone else on the flyer? Looks like Mason Ward is in the house. He jumps up to P7, a 109.8. Currently we've got 4 drivers in the 8s, 3 1s and 10s. Let's see. Aaron on an out lap. I think everyone else is on an in lap. I don't think anyone's pushing quite just yet. But Aaron isn't, not really. Mason isn't. Primetime Raz, unfortunately I don't know his proper name. So yeah, no one's really on a flyer, except for Jack Zino, the Sunday night championship leader, heading into the final round at Abu Dhabi. Currently hasn't set a time, but according to this he's set a purple first sector. I do not believe it. The game often tells lies to me, so as he's actually pulled out of the lap, I wonder if he got an invalidation. Must have. Alright, we'll go on board with Aaron then. We haven't got a proper lap done of this place. So we'll run on board with Aaron, get rid of some of this, just to get a real close look at what he's doing. Running as far to the left hand side as possible. I don't do that. I tried to take a normal racing line, but I suppose you are minimising distance by doing so, and I bet that's an invalidation. He's pushing on with it, so probably not. Into turn 6 and 7, the uphill climb, double apex right-hander. Into the hairpin, second gear, first gear, then short shifts to second. Short shifts to third rather, not second. He didn't go all the way down to first gear. Into the hairpin of turn 10, where Hamilton murdered Alexander Albon. But in fairness, Alex left a pretty big door there in the real life Grand Prix. Hamilton, being the racer he is, saw the opportunity and went for it. But we all loved it when he got the penalty. Put Carlos Sainz onto the podium. As Aaron sets a 1 minute 8.619. I think that's about a P2 time if I'm not mistaken. Oh, just need to do that. Oh, he did invalidate. Okay. And it would have been P2. Because the track map didn't show me that. Well, I did have it off. But yeah, the fact that he's pushed on with it, maybe it just gives him a good idea of what the car's speed is. Mahi. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't know what your real name is, so we're going to have to stick with that. Driving in the Mercedes-Benz, Stuart McKenzie's teammate for this race. There's a bit of understeer coming through turn 6 into 7. Into the hairpin of turn 8, second gear. You can see very contrasting driving techniques. Oh my word! Almost loses it into the barrier. Manages to catch it though. Kyle Wilson has invalidated his time. But let's see what he was going to do. It's a 1 minute 9.3. That would have put him P10, it seems. Aaron in the pits. Crossy's invalidated. I think James is on an in-lap. Go on board with F1. Dearie me. Force of habit. LR amazing hour. Andrew Lee. He's purple in the first sector. Through the seat of the Largo. You have to be careful of that inside curve at turn 5. It will spin you out if you take it at a bad angle. Turn 6 and turn 7. Then into turn 8. Potential overtaking opportunity here at turn 8. And turn 9. 5th gear, hello. What kind of technique is this? 5th gear, 6th gear. Through Magulo into Junso. 3rd gear short shifts to 5th. Shifts back down to 4th. Interesting technique. DRS. Let's see where this puts him. 108.373. Puts him P2 just behind Josh Banks. But see that? That is an extraordinary technique. Sort of short shifts, sort of 2 gears, and once the car's more straightened out, he shifts down to a lower gear to try and build the revs up, get more horsepower. I've never seen someone do that. But it's a brilliant way to manage wheel spin as Banks beats his own time. Does a 1 minute 8.304. Harry Lillis coming through. Subida de boxes. Turn 14. As Jordan Dittmer. He's actually had an accident. Wrong. Williams bugger. There's Brett Keenan. Speaking of which, he's now going to start a flying lap as well. Get an outside view through the center S. Turns 1 and 2. Through turn 3, Curva de Sol. Now, that's the line I typically take. I run it sort of an in-out racing line. Stay as far to the right, coming into the corner. Stay as far left at mid-corner. And back out to the right at corner exit. Through Ferradura. Missing the apex sort of in between turn 6 and 7. It's cost him a bit of time. Sort of having a bad run into turn 9 as well. Let's see if he can make it up here into turn 10. Cuts it very nicely. Very well done turn 10, I have to say. Through turn 11. Could have gone a bit further to the left hand side, but that's alright. Carries good speed, has a brilliant run for Junso, which you need. It is the most important corner probably on the entire circuit. How well you go through that corner dictates the entire run from there to the start-finish line. And he does a 1 minute 9.5. He beats his own time by almost 4/10 of a second. Still, he is outside of the top 10. Just shows you how competitive it is in this championship. Aaron, can we finally see him do a flyer? Finally. Oh, it's wheel problems. Okay. I was going to say, that is one odd technique. I've never seen it before, but okay, that having technical difficulties, and you still set third fastest time as Aaron goes ahead to go to the top of the leaderboards with a 1 minute 8.2. Right, because I was going to say that is one of the most extraordinary pieces of driving I have seen around this circuit, where you shift up 2 extra gears and go back down 1. And you still set the third fastest time. Oh, mate. That's extraordinary. Righto. So Amazing Hour has got technical difficulties with the steering wheel where it's shifting up a gear randomly. As Mackenzie now jumps to the top of the table, just beating Aaron by, what's that, 0.03 of a second, a 108.253. Seems it's going to be a very competitive fight for pole position here at Interlagos. Good to see. I think Brett's on an in-lap. Yes, he is. So everyone, I think, will more or less be preparing for their final flying lap. It seems. Everyone's in the pits. The three drivers who aren't, they're on an in-lap. As you can see here, Ferrari's going to jump out of the pits. That'll be James Hudson. As Brett has a moment at turn 11. A Red Bull comes out as well. That must be Kyle Wilson. So, we'll have 4 minutes left. Theoretically, the Ferrari should be able to get 2 flying laps in. Theoretically. So even if you have a bit of a messy first lap, you are able to do a second one. Strategy here is soft to medium, if I remember correctly as well. So, explains why all the drivers are starting or doing qualifying laps on the soft tyre. Also, it's quite a common occurrence to get a safety car at this place. Just a soft tyre gives you that extra flexibility if there's a safety car at an inopportune time. So, James Hudson in the Ferrari, currently 6th place, is the first driver to set their final flying laps. Coming through Arquibancadas, turn 15. Portuguese for grandstands, quite self-explanatory really. Turns 1 and 2, the centre S. The closest thing we'll get to the corkscrew in Formula 1. Into Curva de Sol, onto the Reta Aposta. Then Descida de Lago. 4th gear. Close to the white line, but he doesn't go over it, so no invalidation here. Up the hill into turn 6, then turn 7. Got a slow car in sector 2 and 3, that's alright. I believe that's Harry Lillis in the Alfa Romeo. Into turn 9. Hugs the left hand side as close as you can. Into turn 10. 2nd gear, short shifts. Nope, keeps it in 2nd. Through Mergulo. Into Junso. 3rd gear, hard on the power. Through turn 14. And the final corner, turn 15. 8th gear, hugging the left hand side. It's a 1 minute 8.458. Jumps up to P5, overtaking Sebastian, who in turn is going to complete his final flying lap, perhaps. Yeah, it seems like it. He improves by 1/10.5, but it's not enough to overtake James. 0.03 of a second separating the two. Seems that Josh might have invalidated. He's in mode 0. Suggests that he has invalidated. F1 Amazing Hour. He seems to have gotten his wheel sorted out. It's not shifting randomly. Across the line, it's a 108.313. He doesn't improve his position though. He's still in P4. Josh coming around onto the pit straight to start off his final flying lap. Macca in the middle of his. He's coming through the 2nd sector, the beginning of the 2nd sector. The uphill climb into turn 6 and 7. Feathering the throttle through there. He really is pushing this, isn't he? 2nd gear, short shifts to 3rd, short shifts to 4th. Oh, back end stepping out. He is really giving it, I think. 1st gear, up to 3rd. Then turn 11, 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear. Into Junso. Most important corner on the circuit. Puts the power down as early as he dares. Now he's going to have to try and hug the left hand side as much as he can. Here we go. Hugging the left-hand side. It's a 7. Oh, he doesn't improve. He might have been pushing. I think he might have pushed a little too hard. Overdriven the car, maybe. But Banks, he's on for a really good time here. He's up by 0.2 of a second. Here we go with the aerial shot. Across the start-finish line. It's a 1:08.1. Not quite into the 7s, but almost. Can anyone beat his time? I think Aaron's going to have to be the driver to do it. Coming out of turn 9 into turn 10. First gear, second gear, third gear, fourth. Climbing up through the gears. Into Junso. Here we go. Early on the power. Really nice exit. And as far to the left as you possibly can. Look at that. Here we go. Oh, he doesn't improve. He effectively matches his own time. He only lost out by 17 thousandths of a second to his own time, but it seems that Josh Banks will take pole position here at the Brazilian Grand Prix by 0.12 of a second, 0.13 of a second actually. Hamish, you're out of fuel. He's trying to nurse it back into the pit lane so then he can retire and not crash into any other cars on circuit. But there you go. So Josh Banks leads Stuart McKenzie, Aaron in P3, Andrew Lee in P4, James Hudson P5, Seb Spicer in P6, Mason Ward P7, Jack Zinno P8. When the leaderboard comes up, do P9 and P10. P9 was Harry Lillis, then Hamish McLeod in P10. All of the top 10 drivers will start on the soft tyre, no one on the medium. It'll be interesting to see what the drivers outside of the 10 will do. But there we go, top 10 separated by 0.8 of a second, so everyone from first all the way down to 12th were in the 1 minute 8s. Very awesome to see. So with that, it should spell out a fairly competitive and exciting Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's get on with it, shall we? Ah, that explains a bit. I mentioned rain at the start. Here it is. Intermediate conditions, it seems. It doesn't look heavy enough for it to be full wet conditions. Can't have Brazil without a bit of rain here and there. Be interesting to see whether or not this dries out or whether it stays intermediate for the entire race. But either way, it'll be a very spicy start for this race. Session counter counts down, and we'll get the formation lap underway. There we go, on the grid. Drivers will start their formation lap. So, pretty obvious, everyone will start on the intermediate tyre. Bing bang boom, there you go. I don't think anyone would want to start on the wet tyre. If someone did, it would suggest heavier rain conditions towards the mid part of the race, but looking at this, it seems like it's going to dry up towards the end, which is good to see. It throws an interesting dynamic into the race. No, we don't need that. So, seeing as we know what tyres they're going to be on, I'll just leave it on position change for the start of the race, just so then we know who jumps up the leaderboard, who falls down the leaderboard on the first opening lap. 36 laps of this circuit. It feels long when you're driving it, 36 laps around here. It's not a very big circuit, as I said, it's 4.3 kilometers, but it feels pretty long, this race. It does feel long. It'll feel even longer in these conditions, that's for sure. Drivers making their way round. Mr. Banks leading the field through. Be an interesting turn 1. Hopefully everyone gets through relatively okay. Turn 1 and 2 was pretty difficult to get through in normal conditions, let alone intermediate. All I have to say, folks, is sit back and enjoy the show. Interlagos has always developed fantastic racing in both real life and in the virtual world. We all know the famous races that this place has created. 1991 is an obvious one, 2007, 2008, 2012, and of course the most recent one in 2019. We all know the stories that this place can generate, and hopefully we can capture a little bit of that real world magic in this 36 lap race around Interlagos. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. And Stuart McKenzie gets a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. He moves into the lead, but that will soon be relinquished from him. I do not believe it. Just releasing the clutch ever so slightly early, and oh dear, we have a desync between Mason and James. That's always good to see. So these two won't be able to see each other on circuit, and oh my word, that is Brett Keenan. He has been spun round into the wall, exiting turn 3. Now somehow that hasn't, something like that typically causes a safety car, but no, it hasn't. We got a bit of side-by-side action here as well. Oh, in contact and spins, yes he will, and oh, an accident behind as well. Jack Zeno and that Aaron, dearie me. And that hasn't caused a safety car either. Astonishing. Carl Wilson was also involved in that. He loses 3 positions from the start. Not a great start for the Red Bull driver at all. Jack Zeno, also a horrible start. Down 5 from 8th all the way down to 13th. So I think we've got the lap 1 carnage out of the way. It's time for the rest of the race to begin. Now, does Mackenzie go in now? No, he's going to continue leading after jumping the start. Oh, and down the inside goes Aaron in the Racing Point. Can't quite make the move stick though. Got also a little bit of action behind. Side-by-side action between the Haas and the Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso ultimately prevails as Aaron comes into the pits to get that front wing change after contact on lap 1. He's going to be in 16th and a long way behind, but it's a long race here at Brazil. He'd be praying for a safety car. Amazing how an Aaron side by side. Andrew, can he hold it around the outside? Oh, that Renault was very sideways. Coming out of the corner, James will have a fantastic view on this. Through turn 11. They took it flat in qualifying. You can't take it flat here in intermediate conditions. Through Junsao. We got Sebastian in P6 as well. We have to keep an eye on. Top 6 all in this nice little train. And that soon will become a top 5. Mackenzie has to serve that drive-through. Unless it's a glitch, like maybe he didn't see the drive-through. He didn't get a drive-through. It definitely came up on my screen. And Mackenzie had to serve a drive-through penalty for jumping the start. He definitely got a way better launch than the rest of the field. He's opened up a 1.3 second margin. It's clear to see that Stewart's got pace. Part of that due to him being in clear air. Main reason why he would be staying out. Sector 2 yellow flags. Mahi in the Mercedes is out, and so is Brett. Both of them are out. They have crashed coming out of turn 5. Hopefully we'll see this with onboard Aaron. Going through turn 4. Let's have a look, see. Ooh dear. Now I wonder if Mahi just lost it by himself. And in comes Mackenzie into the pit lane, and the safety car has been called out that lap. Now I wonder, does that count? It does count. Unbelievable. It does count as a drive-through. He came in under green flag conditions. That is perfect timing for Mackenzie. He should have lost a lot more time and a lot more positions because of that. Deary me. He comes out in 9th place in front of Mason Ward. Now I'll probably get Brett in here. He did tell me if he crashed out to bring himself into the party, I probably should bring him in. Let's have a look, see. Where are you? Brett, can you hear me? Care to take us through it? Yep. 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 Okay. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. I was wondering whether or not it was a glitch, perhaps. A starting glitch that some drivers do get, but no, it was a genuine drive-through. And also the timing of that safety car as well. It's really aided Mackenzie, because he should have lost a lot more time and position because of his penalty, but as soon as he came in, the safety car came out, and it actually counted as him serving the drive-through. So he's... yeah. It's alright. We've got a safety car period. You've got plenty of time to recover it. Oh, Aaron, dearie me. Well, it stopped raining. Yep. Hmm. No. Yeah, no, these two had a... Yeah, they had a brief exchange coming into turn 6. Not quite sure what it was about, but yeah. Hmm. Oh, Mr. Dittmar crashing into the back of Mason Ward there. He's got significant wing damage. Oh dear. Oh, I think Andrew was trying to sell a dummy there. It looked like he was going to go in, but he then pulled out of it. Yeah, oh. Got a bit of a car park going through turn 3 as well, but they get through relatively okay, it seems. Here comes Rose. So, Mr. Was it Satil? No. Force India. And it wasn't Fizzy. I know it wasn't Fizzy. It was someone else. It might have... That's right, they did too, didn't they? Yes, I remember that. So yeah, Satil and Truly having a big moment out of turn 5 leading into turn 6. Yes, it did. Oh. Yep. Already made mention of that. A lot of fun. So. It seems... Now, in this situation, what would you have gone for? The soft or the medium tyre? And just, yeah, one stop till the end. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. As we might see a move here from Stuart McKenzie around the outside of turn 4. Tries to get the switchback. No, he can't. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, and Josh and... Okay, interesting. Like, you would think Aaron would be setting blistering lap times in comparison to the guys behind. Seems like that isn't quite the case. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. How amazing how with DRS is he able to catch up and overtake his championship rival. It's 4 points separating the two, I think, I remember. I'm pretty sure it's 4 points separating the two. It's very close. Aaron is not too far behind. He's, I believe, mathematically in contention, but it's sort of a long shot for him. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Well, here we go. Well, the hunter is going to overtake the hunted. Amazing arrow around the outside into 1, and in turn has the inside for 2. Oh, but Banks holds it there, resilient in contact! Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, only 1.1 seconds separating him to P3, Andrew Lee, so... We have a... Ooh. They're having an almighty scrap for 8th place. They've been side by side ever since turn 2. They finally sorted... Oh, and that's a harsh penalty, I have to say. Running wide, not really track extending, not really getting advantage, but getting 3 seconds anyway. Dearie me. To the inside. Yeah. Well, Banks might be lining up a move here. Not quite. Oh! Very close between these two. Very close. Banks, is he close enough? Not quite. He's going to stick in behind Amazing Hour. Let's see, anything else going on? We have a battle for 6 between Mackenzie and Seb. And another one for 8th, as Harry is not giving up on his battle for that position. He's got Hamish in front. That's about it, it seems. The cars behind are all in their own little world. Mm. 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 Oh, and Kyle. Yeah, he gets the white flag out, says, nah, here you go. Hmm. 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 Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Into the final corner because of how much they cut it. Yeah, they stayed. Hmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Hmm. Hmm. That's fair to say. The Red Bull have been quite the competitive car around here, which you wouldn't normally think. It's got some very fast sections, particularly in the third and first sectors. A lot of straight line speed required, but I guess having that excellent chassis of theirs in that magical Adrian Newey power that it has with it, they're just able to make so much time in the second sector, I guess. Well, no. Yeah. That's not a bad shout. Yeah. Ooh, as Kyle Wilson has a moment at turn 10. Well, we've got a battle for the lead. We also have a battle for fifth place. Kyle is not giving up this position. Yep, Aaron's in. I think he'll go medium, to be honest. Soft, he's... okay. And wing change. Yes. Yes, he could do 2 stints on the softs, and it's legal because the beginning of the race was wet. Well, he has to do 15 laps plus this lap on these tyres. Now, the difference between the set that he had earlier, he did 15 laps, yes, but several of those were under safety car. So he's got a lot of work to do to make this work. I wouldn't be at all surprised. It's a more common occurrence now in this game for some reason. Past couple of streams that I've done, I've seen drivers get DRS failures. Yeah, I haven't got it open yet. I experienced it shut, but yeah, I've seen a couple of drivers, yeah, the DRS actually for some reason stays open. Very odd. Maybe. Drivers in. Hamish and Wilson into the pits. First of the medium runners. Crossley gets a 3 second. Soft tyre. Mediums. And another thing to add with Aaron, it might be a similar gap, but Aaron had to actually do a front wing change. So there's an extra 5 seconds in that stop. So he's actually managed to pull out about 5 seconds to the 2 cars behind. So the undercut is working. Just for a matter of how long will it work for, I guess. When or if the other drivers will pit. Because I'm not sure, maybe some of these guys are gambling to go to the end. Mason. It's a long time. Very long time. Other than his drive-through, of course. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hmm. I think Banks will he? Won't he? No, he's no, Banks not quite. You probably see it here in the second sector. You need that mechanical grip from the tyre and from the chassis and suspension. See, he's gaining little bits of time. I think he's going to the inside. I think this will be fairly straightforward. And these two. And here we go. Ooh. Yeah. No, not yet, at least. Might see one, maybe two jump up, perhaps in the near future. Perhaps. Maybe. But it's interesting though, you make mention of that, Williams and Renault, both of them very much established cornerstones within Formula One, very famous teams and manufacturers who have enjoyed years, if not decades, of success, and both of them are in deep trouble for the 2021 season. Like, Williams have just recently put themselves up for sale, and there were big question marks over Renault participating in the next couple of seasons as well. It's amazing, isn't it? Just how much it changes. Huh. Up, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Can't have Formula One without sketchy sponsors now, can't you? Yeah, and taunt them a bit. Yep. Righto. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, exactly. Like, and I'm sure Mercedes will see the benefits of having him within the team. I mean, the stories, the attention that it will bring will be massive towards the Mercedes team. I mean, they will have to see it from a business point of view, not a moral point of view. So they have to see the sponsorship, the advertising, the attention they're going to get across the entire year, not just in the short term but in the long term as well. So yeah, it'll be a very interesting prospect. I'm not sure if Lewis would think that or not. I don't know, and I'm not a big fan of Lewis in the first place to know what he would truly do. But if I was him, I would love to have that opportunity to finally put that to bed. Like, they're literally two of the greatest drivers we've had in this decade of Formula One. They have literally decimated this decade of Formula One, minus 1 year. Literally 1 year. And that was Nico. Yep. Yeah. Effectively. Yeah. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't think it's... I have actually looked that up, believe it or not. I can't quite remember, but the closest one to the 3 within this decade, I think, was the 1950s, and that's because of a certain driver named Juan Manuel Fangio, winning 5 in that decade, I think. 2 were won by Ascari, so that makes 7. You got Mike Hawthorne. No, he won 2. He won 2 championships. Oh, Farina is another one. The first champion. I think that might be it as well. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you had heaps of drivers in between, like PK, you had Mansell as well. As amazing how it goes around the outside of Jane Banks into the Cedar de Lago. They're side by side again. I mean, it's good to see, but this battle will ultimately be dictated because of, oh my word, of the penalty. Fellas, calm down. Calm down. Through turn 10, they're still side by side. Oh, and a little bit wide too. Oh, it gets a 3 seconds. So that's it. He did well. Imagine what he could have done without it. We could only vote. Yep. I think he got 7 penalties. Looking at Cross, he's behind Mackenzie and in front of Aaron, so yeah, penalties ultimately. Aaron getting him. Fair enough.
Hold on, I can mute everyone because I can't hear you. Yeah, the race was pretty fun. I was obviously better than Andrew for the whole race. The pace was pretty decent. Andrew obviously had a lot of straight line speed compared to me, so it was really hard to keep up with him or try and make a move down into turn 1. And you obviously had a DRS failure for like 12 or 13 laps. Which made it even more difficult for me to keep up with him, but yeah, obviously 5 seconds for the speeding was very unfortunate, and obviously getting that last penalty on the last lap, running a bit wide, but oh well. Yeah, congrats to Andrew. It was a fun battle, fun race, and yeah, hopefully, obviously a title fight will come into next weekend or next week.
Nothing off the top of my head. It was a very nice drive, particularly between you and Aaron. It was absolutely brilliant to watch, I have to say. Just the final round in Abu Dhabi, are you pretty keen for that race? Is it a track that you enjoy?
What, who for? Me or Andrew?
You, Josh.
Oh yeah, obviously, I really like Abu Dhabi. I've had some good success over there, and other leagues. So, yeah, really looking forward to it, and yeah, make the best man win, I guess. Exactly.
Cool.
Thank you. Yeah, cheers, Brett. It was a pretty good race, pretty good fun. It's still a bit PO'd at the moment, no, not gonna lie. I've still got my bloody upshifter acting up on my wheel, so I don't know what the hell is going on with this damn thing. So yeah, this is kind of annoying. It played up for, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 laps during the race, around near where Albon got spun in a real life Grand Prix. It'd just be upshifting from 4th to 6th. It's like I lost 5th gear for some reason, but yeah, eventually that kind of sorted itself out and allowed me to try and get on with it. And yeah, the race start was good. Intermediate pace seemed okay, and yeah, then obviously I saw Aaron change his strategy. So at that point, I felt like it came down to me versus Josh, and indeed that's exactly what happened. Yeah, great fun, to be honest. It would have been no shame in coming second in that race. That was one of the better races I've had in a long time. And yeah, apparently I'm the championship leader now, so I don't know, yippee, I guess is what I'm supposed to say. But anyway, on to the finale. I think Abu Dhabi's a pretty strong track for the pair of us. I know the last time we were there, Josh absolutely whooped my ass, so I might have a little bit of work to do to make sure that doesn't happen again. But no, all in all, great race, great fun. GG to P2 and P3, and yeah, may the best man win at the finale.
Nothing I can think of. Just congratulations on a superb drive, Andrew, and a great scrap between you and Josh. It was a real joy to watch.
The last lap, I must say, was quite fun.
You were almost like everywhere.
Yeah.
Needs a round. Ooh.
Hey.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you
Mate,
mean you're welcome?
If that safety car didn't come out, you were screwed. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Coming into the pit lane, I thought I was going to be screwed anyways, because like as I committed to the pit lane, it came out, and everyone was sitting there laughing like, "Oh no, Mac is fucked up." But then I didn't see the mechanics come out to the pit lane. I'm like, "Yes, I can serve my drive-through," and then I was able to just slot in front of Mason, and then and then just obviously like jump, and then once we all pitted for dries, I was able to just latch on to the back of like Seb and Harry and all of them, and then just cruise to the end. I was
Why is it P4 getting interviewed? Or P, whatever.
Because James ain't.
Because
well, he doesn't get on the podium that often, so it's just
He just needs some attention every now and again.
participation award for Stuart McKenzie.
Driver of the Day award? Fucking lick my ass.
Well, yeah, got to drive through and finish fourth.
Luckiest Man of the Day award.
Yes. Yes. Oh, okay. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Just got called up late. Happy to come in. It was a very nice race to watch. It wasn't anything super dramatic, it was just some really good driving and some great racing as well. But that will conclude this episode and round 10 of the championship. Tune in next week for the final round as we go to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the worst designed circuit in Formula 1, Yas Marina. Except for in this game, because for some reason in this game it tends to develop some pretty good racing. So tune in next week. I've been Lane Everingham, my fellow commentator Brett Keenan, after crashing out unfortunately earlier on. He was able to come in, back me up, had a really nice chat throughout the race, and I hope he enjoyed it as
I think we were all expecting it. Fair enough.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Good night.